Welcome to the AGC podcast. If you don't know us already, the Akuta Group of Companies is a British interior design collective with a portfolio of 6 international award-winning design brands. I'm your host, Tori, and in this pod we'll be revealing exactly what it takes to build a global design collective that works in some of the world's most exclusive postcodes. You'll meet the talented individuals behind each brand, as well as the many interesting people that have joined us along the way. Stay with us to hear more about how we got here, where we are going, and how we plan on being a force for good in this world of possibilities. Hello, lovely listeners. This is a special bonus episode of The Interior Insider. In this episode, I talked to Daniel Ede, the Managing Director for EDE Homes, who we've recently worked with on the latest AGC BTR project, Old Abbey House Hotel, a stunning hotel in Oxfordshire that we had the privilege to design for. There's no visuals for this episode, but don't worry. If you want to check out the full Old Abbey House portfolio, we'll leave a link in our bio. We hope you enjoy listening. So here we are in one of the rooms in the Old Abbey House Hotel, and this is our first joint venture together and AGC's first design and supply for a boutique hotel. So why did you choose this building in particular, Daniel?
That's a great question. We've known about this building for must be 6 or 7 years now. It was obviously owned by the council before. They did bring it to the market potentially for residential use. The locals didn't particularly like that idea, so there's a lot of opposition. It then, unfortunately, it was vacant for a few years, and it came back to the market, and they wanted more of a community use where the public could potentially still visit the building and see the building. And that's when we floated the idea of a hotel, which they all really, really liked. And the sad thing was that the kind of intervening period between 6 or 7 years ago and when we bought it, it was completely vacant. So the state of the building was terrible, the roof had collapsed, and it was looking very, very sad for itself. But in terms of the opportunity, in terms of the building itself, the legacy, the history, the heritage, the positioning in terms of not only by Old Abbey Gardens, but also in terms of the town centre and the high street. And whilst the building is in terrible condition, you could see what the building could look like in the future with the work and the renovation in the meantime. And that's what we always saw in terms of the kind of future potential of the building in such a beautiful location.
So you always had a good vision of the project?
Always thought it would be, it could be a really, really special building. And I think I had a vision as to what it would look like. And when we came along to the opening night, my expectation was so kind of exceeded what I originally had hoped for. And that just, for me, I suppose, re-emphasises what I originally saw in the first opportunity.
Yeah, it did look absolutely beautiful that evening. It was perfect.
We're so unbelievably proud of what we've created here. It really has been a labour of love.
And was this your first venture into hotels?
So no, it's not actually our first venture into hotels. We were in hotels for many, many years. It was a hotel group called the Four Pillars Hotel Group. Sold that hotel group in 2007. Mm-hmm. And really have been more focused on the residential stuff over the last few years. But because we haven't been able to buy land at what we deem to be a reasonable price on the resi side, we kind of thought to ourselves, maybe we should try the hotel side again. And this is our second hotel. We've opened a small boutique hotel in Oxford called Number 192. And this is a different model to a standard hotel. We go for the more technology-led self-check-in solution rather than having the kind of the overhead and the staff on site the whole time. Actually, instead of having the self-check-in solution, but for a much, much nicer product, mm-hmm. because I always talk to people, and particularly in the local area, who used to say, I really want to go and stay in this area, or I'll have to go to this area for a meeting, but I can't find a hotel that is reasonably priced, but actually has a nice shower, nice bed, and is actually quite, should we say, good value for money. But I'm not bothered about food and beverage. I'm not bothered about seeing someone when I come in. All I want is a really nice room, and I don't want to stay in a lower end brand. So we saw I suppose there's a bit of a gap in the market. And we think it will work, whether it does or not. Come and speak to me in 5 years' time.
We'll find out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it will, because I think there's so many people that don't like having that face-to-face contact and just want to get straight to their room, check in, done. They don't need that social side of it.
We are so as I said, so pleased with how it's turned out, and it's been a journey.
And how long did the project actually take you from start to finish?
In all honesty, it feels like it's taken forever, but actually it's taken just over 2 years. I think we all hoped it would be a year. I think we all hoped that we'd open in kind of May, June time, when we could have caught the summer trade. But actually, with what we found in the building, with the state of the building, it does not surprise me at all that it's taken as long as it has done.
For the first 6 months then, when you were planning, you couldn't touch the building. Were you not allowed to do anything?
So we could soft strip the building. So we were really kind of uncovering what we had actually bought, which was a disaster. And when I say a disaster, the roof had completely collapsed in the middle. There was water running down the walls. Roofs inside had all collapsed. Some of the fireplaces were heavily damaged, and then there was the what I just described as the pigeon room.
Yes.
And the pigeon room was, I think there were about 40 pigeons in one of the rooms upstairs. You can imagine the disgustingness inside. And he had spent a fortune trying to get rid of these pigeons. And from what was an absolutely disgusting, shocking, concerning room, it's now probably my favourite room in the place.
And so what were the biggest challenges of the project from start to finish?
In fairness, there were lots and lots of challenges with this building, but I'd say the two that really stand out for me are, one, with the windows, because they were in pretty diabolical condition. If you look at the window panes, they've all been replaced. The other area I'd say I'm particularly proud of is the staircase, because the staircase was an original listed staircase. It was very, very dark wood. It was damaged. It just looked in a very, very sad state of affairs. To really sand that down, to fix the broken elements, but then also to create a whole new staircase for the second floor in the same style, wood, and just in terms of finish, was just one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Ever since I've been in the business for 10 years, what the carpenters did with that to replicate all the fine detail was
it's unbelievable when you go and walk up and you see it. It's exactly the same.
And you wouldn't even know it was a new staircase. And I think that is a testament to the work that went into the project.
Yeah, definitely. So the big question is, what were you looking for in an interior designer to come on board and help with the project?
That's a great question. I think we've worked with a few interior designers over the last 10 years since I've been in the business. As you know, we haven't worked with Akuta before. So when we met you guys to talk about this scheme, I think I was more blown away with your general enthusiasm and shared vision for what we were trying to create here. And people ask me, I would say, what convinced you when you first met Akuta? And I'd say it was that first meeting in terms of meeting the team. I'm very much a believer in people and making sure that you're all kind of pulling in the same direction. And I very much had that sense. And then when we had the mood board and the ideas and to go through that kind of stuff was really, really exciting for me. And it's helped bring the project to life. And during that process, I just really, really enjoyed the kind of the chemistry and the kind of, should we say, the debate that we were having early on in the project and questioning and should we say, trying to be as creative as possible with what we were trying to do here, because let's face it, this is a completely new venture for us. It was a new venture for yourselves in terms of this type of project. So we just had that kind of shared vision, I think, and that team effort has really helped create what we see today.
That's so lovely to hear. Thank you. I know our team have absolutely loved it because it has, like you say, it's the first project for us going into hotels as well.
Yeah.
And it's just been such an exciting project. And it's so nice to have all the different personalities in every room, but keeping that boutique feel throughout and making sure it's all a cohesive design. And it's just been, just such an exciting project for us as well.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think actually what I really like about what we've done here is what you guys have created, which is the balance between the contemporary and the traditional, because you've got such an old listed building to bring out that heritage with a few key pieces in each room, demonstrating that kind of history and legacy, but still bringing in the colours and the more contemporary pieces, which is obviously in line with what generally people are looking for now.
Yeah.
And to have that balance, I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. And I think there's very much a theme and a feel through the whole hotel, but then to have that nuanced against a individual design for each room, and we wanted to have that boutique feel, and it could have easily run away with us and not had that kind of consistency across the rooms. But to have that it's been amazing, really.
It's also been really nice to be able to bring older pieces in. So actually going to more vintage pieces and selecting those, and they're working in the space because of how old it is.
Yes.
And you've got the beautiful fireplaces as well, so you can sort of tie everything in together, and the old mixed with the new just works so well in this building. Are there any favourite rooms of yours?
So I could literally talk to you all day about all the rooms. I love all the rooms for different reasons. I think this room, but this is room number 3, I think.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite rooms, and mainly because of this area here in terms of the corner thing, but also I love these chairs. I love the wardrobe behind you. And then just in terms of the colour schemes and the balance between the contemporary and the traditional. I also I think it's room 6.
Yes, the caramel colour.
Caramel colour rooms.
Yeah.
I love the original safe in there, but also, as you say, the caramel side, I think really works really well with the windows as well. And then, of course, with against how cosy it then feels in there, and it has that real warmth to it that I think would appeal to certain guests.
Yeah, definitely.
The other rooms I quite like are 13, which is upstairs.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's has more of a masculine feel, more of a smoky type.
It's probably the room you'd choose.
It's probably was, and I think if I had to choose a room, that probably would be the room I'd choose. And I love the kind of the orangey kind of colours in the headboard as against the artwork above it. I think that works really well in that room. And then the only other room, as I've mentioned already, is the pigeon room. I can't call it the pigeon room.
Number 28,
no,
the pigeon suite.
The pigeon suite. It's not going to be called the pigeon suite.
and
that is to have that kind of almost loft style conversion, and to have that, and you've done such a fantastic job in terms of trying to find pieces in there, and it's things like the headboard, and to make sure it all flows and fits, because as you'll see from the room, it's you've got such low ceilings and gantz ceilings, actually to be able to give it that sense and to really have furniture that still works in those, should we say, quite challenging positions, has been testament to the kind of the work and also the thought you guys have put into it, really.
And what would be your advice to someone who's thinking of undertaking a similar project, a similar sized scale project to that?
I think I'd say two main focuses. One is around budget, one is around time. So one bit of advice would be make sure you kind of factor in a lot of a buffer in terms of that budget piece, because what you don't want to do is to get 75% of the way through the project and have to start cutting corners, or should we say shirking when it comes to designs or finishes or specifications, because actually, as I always say with our houses, the majority of the work and the cost is actually in the actual building itself. When it comes to the final pieces, actually you're just highlighting what the hard work you've already put in to date. And the other element I'd say is around time. People quite often will say, we have to finish this project in 9 months, 12 months, or whatever it is. This has taken 6 months longer than we thought. But when you look at it and you look at the journey that we've had, it was absolutely the right thing to do, to take that time and to make sure we did a proper job.
It's probably quite hard to sort of not factor those in, isn't it? But then until you've uncovered everything, you have no idea what you're in for.
So it's when my building director always turns around to me, he says he absolutely loves these types of projects because he never knows what you might uncover and the problems you might have to encounter, and he sees it as a challenge.
Well, you're obviously moving on to the second one, so something must have gone right for you to be wanting the next project.
You say that, but we haven't actually opened here yet. So come and talk to me in a year's time.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Time will tell. But the feedback we've had so far in terms of the people who came to the launch, the people who have seen it so far, has all been so incredibly encouraging. We've already taken some bookings, and as I said, it just kind of really excites me as to what I think this could achieve, but also what the future hotel group could as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel, for a very insightful Q&A. It's been such a pleasure working with you on this project. So fingers crossed for the future. Hopefully there's more to come in this relationship. So thank you so much.
And thank you so much. And thank you for your hard work as well.
Thanks for listening to this bonus episode of The Interior Insider. If you want to check out the full Old Abbey House portfolio, the link is in our bio. Remember to subscribe to be the first to listen to our latest episodes, and be sure to comment who you'd like to hear from next. Speak soon.